All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Shadow Darkness podcast. We're so grateful that you've joined us today. We're back here at the Love Shack dungeon, 120th East 4th Street in Loveland, Colorado. If you've never been to the Love Shack, it's a mocktail bar, games, live entertainment. There's a ton to do here. It's where we shoot it, all these episodes. It's where we have our bi-weekly networking event, Beyond the Buzz. So we'd love to see you. And if you have a chance, please like, subscribe. It really helps us push the message. And we always say it, we'll say it again. If today's message and today's episode just changes one heart, redirects one person for one moment, it's worth it. And you're liking and you're subscribing helps us do that. And so without any further ado, I want to hop right in with the guest today. It's one of my favorite people. Rocky Romano here with us. Rocky.
Good to be here. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
For sure, man. Without question, I've been wanting you on the show for the last probably 8 months, so I'm so excited that you finally were up to find time to do it with us, man. Rocky is an author, but he's also he does a lot in the community. Rocky, can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing today, where you're at, who are you, man?
Yeah, my name is Rocky Romano. I been sober for, it's going to be about another week, 17 years. So I got radically saved in 2009 and just been compelled and pushed to serve in the community. We 2 years ago just opened up the Ark, and the Ark is on 4th Street, 231 4th Street. It is a sober living facility, Christian sober living facility, which kind of separates us from the normal just sober living. It's been up and running. We got 17 guys there. You serve there as well, and we really appreciate that. But we got a full house, and a lot of cool things are happening there. Guys are getting jobs. Guys are getting saved. Guys are their lives are being changed. And so it's been an incredible journey, and I'm just having a ball doing it. So love it.
I love being a part of it. It's where you and I are really connected. If and we'll get into this, but if you know somebody who's looking for a sober living house, and it's got a lot of amenities that other places won't have, as well as the Christian foundation, if that's what you're into or what you're looking for. But I want to hop into your story, and I've read your book. I read it. I think I read it all but like the last couple pages at one sitting. I think it was because wife had dinner made or something.
Yeah,
I love the book. I love the story. But I want to deep dive, start at the beginning, who you are, what happened, and who you are today, and how you're serving. But Matt, can you take a step back to the beginning? Who is Rocky and who was Rocky?
Yeah. My story starts in Southern California. I was born in Burbank, grew up in the North Hollywood area, and I had 4 brothers, 4 sisters, was very much into sports. And I remember coming home as a kid. I was probably 10 years old. And at 9 years old, I competed in this. There was an old event. It was called Forward Punt, Pass, and Kick. And I got second place. And I remember as a kid, I told my parents, I said, next year I'm going to win this thing. And it was a big event. So went to the event, and I actually won. And I came home. I was so excited. And as soon as I went to tell my folks, they said, hold on, we got something to tell you. And my parents told me they were getting a divorce. So they didn't even want to hear what I had to say. And so that just kind of crushed me right there. Ended up moving to Reno with my father. He convinced me to move with him. And I was really a top flight athlete, especially baseball player. And spent about 5 years there. And, at a pivotal moment, about 5-6 years into it, my dad met a lady, and
so you're 15, 16 at this point.
Yeah, and so, things are going good. My athletic career is going good. I'm looking at scholarships, and I'm getting looked at by colleges, and I'm a young guy. And so my dad comes up to me, and he says, hey, listen, I met a lady, and he was older. I was the youngest of 8 kids. So he said, this is my last chance for love, and she gave me an ultimatum. It's you or her. And I chose her, and I was just devastated. And so I remember we just packed my stuff up. Hadn't seen my mom in about 6 years.
Oh, you did?
Hadn't seen her, talked to her a few times. He had called my mom, and so we took a drive from Reno, Nevada to Southern California in North Hollywood, and pulled up on the sidewalk and pulled my bags out of the car. He didn't want to go in and talk to my mom, said a few words to me, and all I remember is him driving off. And that sense of abandonment and being lost, and here's a new frontier. I went from a small school in Reno. Now I'm going to be going to North Hollywood High School. I knocked on the front door, and my mom opened the door, and she was super happy to see me and all that. But that sense of abandonment and rejection in a point in time when I needed my dad the most, I'll never forget that. So I ended up spending some time there. And I think those seeds got sown at a young age, that abandonment had happened to me. And later on in life, ended up going to CSU.
Quick question. So you only talked to your mom a couple times in the last 6 years. That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Were you excited to see her? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I was. But as a young person, 6 years goes by. It's a long time for a young person. So
Yeah.
I was like, do I even know this person? So I was apprehensive. I was kind of,
She was a stranger.
yeah, absolutely felt that way.
So, yeah.
So you're going from abandonment into a situation where you're like, where
am I?
What's this going to be like?
Man, dude.
And so foundationally, there's nothing underneath you. Your whole world's kind of shaking underneath you. You don't know. The guy that's been your foundation and he was my cheerleader in sports and went to all my baseball games.
So you had a really good relationship with him.
Yeah.
Until this woman.
Yeah. And
That's
boom.
tough. And then, and I want to get back to CSU. I feel like at 16, for me,
Yeah.
from like 12 to 16, that's when I stopped looking inward toward the home to tell me who I am. And you start looking at the world to tell you who you are. And all of a sudden, like, you're in Mars, right? From
Yeah.
Reno to North Hollywood. So that's nuts. So college, and if there's anything you want to fill in, feel free. But from there, you said you went to CSU.
Yeah. First, I went to LAVC and I got a scholarship, right? Football scholarship.
Okay,
And I had quit baseball. What happened with that instance we're just talking about with my dad and my mom, it put some seeds of abandonment and insecurity that took root in my life. And I like to play varsity baseball as a freshman, and I quit.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe it would draw attention to me, but it didn't. And so I just found myself more and more lost. So quit the baseball team and ended up joining the track team. And I pole vaulted and ran the 4x100.
You're a big boy to pole vault.
No, man, I was serious, and I was good at it too.
Dude.
So I was an athletic guy. But again, no foundation, right?
Yeah.
Ended up going to school, get hurt first year, ended up doing 1 year of college, and then met somebody in the wine business, and the rest is history. From that point on, I got offered a position in the wine industry to sell wine and to make money doing it.
Right.
And it paid pretty well, and it was a career opportunity. It ended up being in it a long time. So
So I know you're a God guy. Going backwards before we go forward.
yeah.
Was there any foundation of your God or creator or spirituality, anything like that?
Nothing.
Nothing. So like zero, no Catholic mass on, nothing.
The only thing that I got a little snapshot of is we'd go by a church, and my dad would do this.
That's cool.
That was it, man.
Yeah, maybe there's
Yeah.
something.
I don't know what that is, but
Yeah, dude.
but I don't know. Maybe he's got a reverence for the building or God or something. But it was confusing, right? It was. That's about it.
That's great. My 8-year-old, he doesn't know what. I mean, we're God people as well, but he started doing this. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I know, it's like prayer, right? And I was like, have at it, big guy. You know what I mean? So anyways, you're in the wine business. So
Yeah, so I get in the wine industry and doing pretty well, right? I'm working my way up the ladder, and you go to parties, you do these bar parties, you're making money. It's a pretty good living, and I got promoted. Ended up becoming a sales manager, and we're always doing bar parties, worked my way up the corporate ladder. And I think as I look back now, my problem started a lot earlier than I was willing to admit at first, right? I would say a functioning alcoholic. And at that point, I ended up getting married. I went down to Mexico and met a lady from Mexico City, married her.
Right on, dude.
And so just looking back on it, man, I was so squirrely and I was so insecure and so chasing after the world and looking for validation from
Anything.
anywhere I could get it.
And it's only alcohol at this point, right?
Absolutely. And so that marriage lasted for about 6 years. She went on vacation. She was down in Mexico City. She took our son. I had a boy. His name is Andoni, and they ended up going to Mexico. I get a call in the office. I'm working for Midwest Beverage. I'm a sales manager, and she said, "Hey, I'd like to see you. Want to come visit you. I want you to come visit." And she said something along those lines, and I was under the impression that I said, "Well, I'll jump on a flight and come down there over the weekend, no problem." And she said, "No, I'm here." So she left my son in Mexico, came out with her friend Christina, met me at an Italian restaurant, Olive Garden, and we sat down. Her friend sat in the car outside, and she said, "I'm leaving." Like, wow. Okay.
You didn't see it coming?
Not really. Although, the relationship was dysfunctional and I was drinking too much. There's been a lot of episodes of me getting drunk at weddings.
Yeah.
Doing weird stuff, weird stuff.
Yeah.
And driving back from those weddings or events, and she's just totally outraged at my behavior. And those things happen intermittently. I'd kind of get control of it for a while, then I'd lose control for a while. But all in all, I didn't get in any trouble or anything. But it was going downhill. Could I see it? Do I blame her? Probably not, looking at it in retrospect. But I was a little bit shocked. So, unbeknownst to me, they got a rental van. They got a big moving van, actually. They showed up. I said, okay. And the next day, that van rolled up, and she hired workers and everything. They were hauling stuff out of the house. And I remember, I think I had a bed and a fridge and a couple of end tables, and she's taking the fridge. I'm like, "Hey, wait a minute, that's all I got." And she goes, "Well, you can keep it if you give me $300." So I'm like, I gave her.
This is a big house, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Apartment. This is a huge empty house now.
Well, I'm living in Arvada. Pretty, it's a tri-level house. It's pretty good size, and I'm like out of stuff now. I'm looking around, so I give her the $300, and she takes off, and they go back to Mexico, and again, abandonment. Yeah. So that reinforced that abandonment that I experienced as a kid, and it was just another seed planted in my life that started to take root, which created all kinds of insecurities. And
like, I'm not worth someone sticking around for.
No.
Yeah.
And I think as time went on, self-sabotage became my friend because it validated everything I was feeling. So when I started to get promoted or things started getting good in my life, I would sabotage them. And then when something bad would happen, I'd say, "See, it always happens, right?"
This is not new, right? You quit the varsity baseball team as a freshman, so like this is a cycle. Likely,
it is a cycle.
Yeah,
and it keeps backfiring on you, keeps backfiring. And as time goes on, those seeds of abandonment, the root starts to really it really starts to go down deep, and it's producing bad fruit in my life. So it was crazy. I mean, absolutely crazy.
And you get that victim card. You start pulling that victim card, and you're like, "Look," I remember saying, see, like I was in traffic, couldn't make it on. See, like everything was, and I would just play the victim card. And I remember the moment when I just decided I was a victim. Like I was 25 or 26. I was like, "Oh, I'm just bipolar. This is just the way God made me. I'm a victim. And once you really allow that I really allowed that identity in me, it was as fast as a nosedive as you could possibly imagine, dude. So anyways, I made to make about me. So wife's gone, kids in Mexico. Are you recognizing that you're an alcoholic at this point, or you just realize?
Oh, I'm toying with the idea, but
I've got to give.
Yeah, it's just I'm one of those guys, right? So it's just I just
hard to edit, man.
I know. I meet them. I meet them all the time.
Yeah, right.
So it's so she leaves. We make a deal that with Andoni that if he comes out in the summer, she goes ahead and hires an attorney, and I got to fight that battle. She hires Federico Pena Boulevard.
Oh yeah,
his brother, and she comes at me with full force. I have to get an attorney to fight that. We come to a resolution on child support. Well, the summer comes around, he doesn't come out. And she doesn't hold up her end of the bargain, and I'm left holding the bag. So I was like, if you're not going to send him out, then
I'll send the bread.
I'm not sending the bread. Yeah. Exactly. So that one thing led to another, and eventually I ended up meeting another lady, and I left distribution, got in with Peak Wines International, met another gal. We ended up moving into an 8,000 square foot house. And so
here in Colorado.
Yeah, in Colorado, in West Arvada, called Westwoods, out towards Golden.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Hey there, if you're anything like me, networking for your business, small or large, it's not fun. It's probably the least exciting thing that we do. You're rubbing shoulders with people that feel inauthentic, and honestly, you don't know if you want to see these people after 5 o'clock every day. So we have a solution for that. Mitch, what's the solution for that?
The solution that we have come up with is Beyond the Buzz. Beyond the Buzz is a networking group that focuses on supporting each other in the things that we feel like matter in our life, in our sobriety, and in our businesses. So we're trying to bring in small business owners from the community that have chosen to live the sober path or are sober curious, just curious about what's going on down here at the Love Shack. We are just trying to create an authentic space where people can share real issues that they have going on in their life and find no judgment, find real help and support. I can personally tell you through the months that we've had this going, I've made some amazing connections with some incredible people that have poured actual resources into my life.
And it doesn't matter what kind of business you're in. You can be a car detailer, you can be commercial real estate, you can be in construction. I know that as a roofer, I've gotten jobs out of it. As a real estate agent, you've gotten work out of it. Absolutely. I know that I've given people work from it. It's been a really amazing way to connect. So I don't care what walk of life you're walking, come check us out.
We want to meet you.
Where are we at?
So we meet at the Love Shack Mocktail Bar every other Friday from 9:30 to 11. It's kind of all just right here at the Love Shack Mocktail Bar, 120 East 4th Street, every other Friday. So we hope to see you guys here. Come make some real, truthful, authentic relationships.
Off of Highway 91, and so I had a big place out there, and I started, I was the Western Regional Sales Manager for that company. We had an 8,000 square foot house, I had a Porsche Carrera, Jeep Cherokee, had 3 motorcycles, Lexus, Mountain View, lake.
Yeah.
Everything you'd want, right? In a cul-de-sac, great view, beautiful girlfriend, and I'm starting to hang around some of the wrong people. And guy I knew named Mike, and I mentioned him in the book, but he was starting to slide off into a serious opioid addiction, and occasionally he'd give me some opioids.
Pills?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, Oxycontin, any type of opiate.
Sure.
Yeah, you name it. So there's a bunch of them. And started doing that. And at that point, I started to think in my mind, hey, this is kind of a good deal, because
Is this the 80s or the 90s? I'm sorry.
this is going into the this is in the 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay.
And so started doing a little bit more and a little bit more, and before you know it, it seemed to be a solution to the existing problem that I was I was having a hard time realizing I had in the first place, which was the alcohol. So the denial was, but once I got a little taste of the opioid, I thought, well, you know what? I can take these. I can go into meetings, I can operate.
Not have alcohol in my breath.
All of that. So
The solution.
This seems to be the solution. This is the answer to my problems.
Right.
Because I could carry a few of these in my pocket, and I feel pretty good. So unbeknownst to me, I'm leaving one trap and I'm walking into a bigger trap. And so as I'm operating, I'm about 3-4 years into this with Peak Wines International, and that company got bought out, and I got a job with Corbel Champagne Company, and so I was running their still wine division for the West. So we had 3 small wineries, and the addiction kept getting worse and worse and worse. And
Are you in a place where like there's other people other than your buddy Mike, like professionally, that are also using with you? Or 'cause I know the feeling when I just remember, oh, the one doctor's on enough. My answer is another doctor, so I get Adderall from 2 people. You know what I mean? And like it was like all of a sudden, like your solution was like, oh yes, I can use this for that and use for that. But a lot of times, like there's also somebody else around. I was like, right? This is a great idea. Are you still pretty closeted in all this? Does your girlfriend know, or?
I think they all know, and it, like it says, a bad company corrupts good character. Right. And so the person you're intimately involved with, if you're starting to, it was obvious Mike had some problems, and now I'm spending a little more time with Mike, right, lends itself. So she knew more than, and I know she knew more than I was leading on. She knew. She had some insight on what was going on, and there's behavioral changes. So everybody around you, at some point, everybody knows, but you don't think they know, which is really crazy.
It is crazy, dude.
Yeah, so it kept getting worse and worse, and it got real bad after that. So,
what does that mean? Sorry, is that okay if we dive?
No, we'll keep diving into this thing because it's.
Because I know where you led up, and I want to get to where you ended up. But keep going.
Yeah, well, so it got so bad that she ends up leaving me, and so I leave the house. She ends up having a boyfriend move into the house. I bought a house in Stapleton, and bought a brand new home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath down in Stapleton, moved in there, took my stuff, and fully furnished that house.
So you still own the other house?
Yeah, I own it. She's living in it with another guy. Yeah. So this just gets better and better all the time. So this is
But you're functioning.
Yeah, and
as far as you are concerned,
I'm navigating through my life best I know how, right? And so I end up moving into this house. And so I brought my Porsche, my Toyota Camry, and my stuff, fully furnished the house. Tried to launch a business unsuccessfully, and my bank account was slowly draining. Now I'm starting to have problems getting some of the pills that I need, and I run into somebody that says, hey, by the way, just so in case you're running short.
If you're ever wondering.
Yeah, there's you can get a balloon for $15, and I happen to have a connection, and you can just give her a call. She'll deliver it to your house, and boom, made that phone call, and they showed up, and $15 a balloon, started buying heroin,
right,
and
where's it? And what are you? Are you straight to the needle? Or are you smoking it? Or
you know what? I hate to say this, but it's we can negotiate this and navigate this.
Sorry if you don't want to.
I know. I never shot it. I snorted it.
Yeah.
And so whether it was white powder, the brown powder, if it was in tar form, I would dilute it real quickly in the microwave for like 2 seconds and walk. And I would shoot it up my nose. Dude, I mean, hey, some of the audience needs to know this stuff. Yeah. So I would plunge it, right? And it had the same effect, same thing. And so I got on that, never stuck a needle in my arm. Thank God.
Yeah.
And but it's still horrific.
Oh, dude, so I know. 100%.
So all of my country club buddies, all my guys at work, people that I hung around were starting to separate themselves from me.
Yeah.
I ended up getting fired from Corbell, they came and picked up my company car. This CEO of the company sent his security guy out. They picked it up, hauled the Jeep away, and so here I am in Stapleton, kind of isolated. Business failed. It's all myself, me and my heroin, and this little world that's starting to close in on me. So starting to fall behind on car payments. Dodging the repo man with the Porsche. I ordered a brand new one from Germany, had it factory ordered, and I had it parked down at the shuttle place that takes people to the airport. So I was playing that game, and about a month went by, and I come roaring into the house. You know, I go down the alley. We have a common alley, and I'm pulling into the garage, and I look over my left shoulder. There's a repo guy, man. Sun's going down. I'm like, you got me.
Yeah.
And so he hooked it up and hauled it away, and slowly things were being taken away from me one by one by one. And so at this point it was real bad. So get up in the morning. What does a day look like? The crazy part, here's the crazy part. In that circumstance, this home I had a couple shower heads, and I had a shower radio in there. And I'd get up, do some heroin, do a little bit of cocaine, and then I jump in the shower, and I ended up turning on this radio station with James McDonald. It was called Walk in the Word. And every morning I'd get in there, do drugs, and then I'd be listening to this preacher on the shower radio.
Takes what it takes, man.
Called Walk in the Word, man. And I don't know why I was listening to this guy, but that was my routine. And then I'd get on with my day. And so, yeah, it was.
So you had you had was it uncle or cousin, right? In the book, like you're talking about, you get to a point where you go move in with somebody else, right?
Yeah, I did, and that was my father-in-law and my brother eventually. So I stopped off and saw my father-in-law, and then eventually moved in with my brother. But I can tell you that real quick.
We don't have to dive into anything you don't want to. I want to get, because I think that's where I remember in the book we're like, hey, that's the jumping off point, right? The pin and grenade is somewhere in that story. I remember, but whatever leads us there.
So to shorten the story and do a flyover, ended up repoing that house. I'm running out of options. My mother died. I'd lost my job. All my friends were gone. My bank account was being drained. And my stepdad was grieving because of my mother, because of his wife's loss. And I was pretty traumatized. I was pretty close with my mom, became pretty close with her. And so he was a pretty good drinker. Let's say a professional, recreational drinker.
Yeah, he's
Last thing he needed was me to. So I had a friend give me some Suboxone, and I headed out to this town called Bodfish, which is about an hour from Bakersfield. And I'm detoxing hard from opioids. And it was rough. I ended up getting the Bodfish.
Why? Wait, why? Just you realize there's nothing left.
I have no
So
options.
this is the only avenue you have.
Yeah, I've got my stepdad in Bodfish, California, and I have a brother in Monterey.
It's a crazy question. I'm sorry. It's a crazy question to ask you why, right? Because like if you hear the story, you have no past addiction, and you're like, what do you mean why? Do you hear the guy talking? But mentally, there's something, and like I've been where you're. I mean, I've not been.
Yeah, you have.
But I've been where you're like everything's gone, and you're still just trying to get one pill, one bag, and still you're still going. You know what I mean? You're still chasing. Like there has to be a moment where like this isn't going to work. Like that's what I was asking. Why? I just want to say to the viewer that may not be struggling, it is crazy to hear what you have to say and then ask, well, but why did you leave? It's like, you don't understand. You're so gripped that there is no other option. So finally there's an option.
This is like, your producer was asking, what's the pin in the grenade?
Right.
I'm one of those guys that I mean, my dad. Yeah, man. My dad was a professional fighter. My mom was born in Shanghai, China, right? And she got thrown in a concentration camp for 6 years. I got two tough people.
Yeah.
And so I'm that guy.
Yeah.
So I head over to Bodfish, And so we start drinking together. I'm coming off the opioids, feeling very uncomfortable for a couple weeks.
Sure.
So we're starting to drink together. And we did that for a couple weeks. I kind of wandered into a couple retail stores looking for a job and didn't find anything. He ends up taking off for 3 days. He's going on a trip. So I just go on a tear, and I went through a couple handles in like 2 days, 2.5 days. And I remember the depression and the hopelessness hit a point where I was actually done. And I remember sitting in the recliner chair, and I looked off to my left. My stepdad's gone. He's not coming back for another day and a half. Looked to my left, and I saw a rifle leaning against the wall. And there were some bullets on the ledge. And I knew right then what I was going to do. And so I grabbed it, put a bullet in the chamber, cocked it, stuck it between my legs, and I put it right in my mouth, and I pulled that trigger, and it went click. And I was like, son of a... I can't even do that right. And so I'm at a point where, now here's how, I don't know many guys that do this, but I had a backup plan. That gun did. I said, well, I'm not going to do that again, but I do have a plan B. I put the gun back, walked down the hallway, went in the bathroom, and if you look close on my wrists, grabbed a razor blade. I cut my wrist long way, both ways, cut my leg. I got a big scar on my leg. So I had 70 stitches. And I was bleeding to death in my stepdad's house. And my brother in Monterey, the one that I'd been thinking maybe there's a chance that I could move in with him, out of nowhere. He's a Christian guy. And the Spirit of God, just the Holy Spirit's probing him and saying, hey, call your brother, call your brother. And he's like, what the?
You had talked to this guy.
No, I haven't talked to him. We talk a lot, but it had been a couple months. He knew that I was struggling, but he had no idea where I was and how dark it was. Yeah. So all of a sudden, he picks up the phone, calls me, and he says, hey, you okay? I said, yeah, I'm all right.
You're dying.
Yeah, and I'm bleeding, and I've got a towel around my arm, and just in perfect addict fashion,
yeah,
I make up a story. I go, JR, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm bleeding a little bit. I was up on the roof, and I was fixing the air conditioner, and I happened to fall off the roof, and I hit the steps. There's some nails sticking out of the steps, and I cut myself real bad. I'm bleeding, but I got it under control. This is what addicts do, man. And he says, okay, you going to be okay? I said, yeah. Hang up the phone. About 4 or 5 minutes go by. And all of a sudden, Holy Spirit's talking to him again. Call him again. And he's like, I don't need to call. Just talk to him.
Yeah.
Call him. He calls. Nobody answers. He just jumps on the phone, man. He calls 911. He says, here's where the address is. The ambulance is heading up the hill. They get lost. They call him. He redirects them, and they come in and they kick down the door. They throw me in an ambulance, and I'm heading towards Bakersfield. And all of a sudden, I hear just vaguely in the distance, I hear chopper blades. Always wanted to fly in a helicopter, but this isn't how I pictured it. This wasn't the deal, man. So I ended up in there, and it was about 3 p.m, and they flight for life me into Bakersfield General, and I ended up landing in that place and didn't have any insurance. I'm basically indigent at this point. I got nothing.
Right.
And they sew me up, and about 11:30 at night, they pretty much kicked me out of there. And I had some money in my pocket, a little bit of money. Didn't have anything. I had a pair of shorts on, so I had a gown, pair of shorts, and they, when they come pick you up in the ambulance, they say, "Hey, get dressed now." It's like,
Yeah, right.
So I got nothing, and end up taking a cab to a Motel 6, probably about 8 miles away, 10 miles away. Spent the night in the Motel 6, and this is the craziest thing that, as I look back, it's the craziest thing that's ever happened to me. And I'm in a haze. I'm feeling crappy. I hit the hay, give the guy cash, check into the hotel. about 7 in the morning, man. Sun shining in the room, and I walk to the door. I open it up, and there's a lady standing there with a shopping cart. She's got a bag, like a homeless lady, and I look at her, and I said, hi. And this lady had these blue eyes, these piercing green blue eyes. She's looking at me, and she said, they saved your life last night, didn't they? I said, how'd you know that? She says, I was there. Right here. And I'm not putting this all together. I'm like, okay. I said, do you have a shirt in that bag? She says, as a matter of fact, I do. And I said, if you got a shirt, I have enough money on me. I can buy you breakfast. And so she reaches in the bag and she's rumbling around in there, and she pulls out a shirt and it says Angels on it. And I'm like, put that shirt on and we go have breakfast. And the whole time I'm talking to this
With the homeless lady.
yeah. And I'm like,
I'm sorry. Keep
it's
going.
freaking me out. And so I'm having breakfast with this lady, and she's like, this lady could like see right through me. I'd never experienced anything like this. And we're talking, and as the breakfast was winding down, she said, so what are you going to do? I said, well, I'm going to walk down to the Walmart. I got to get some shoes because this Bakersfield pavement's getting hot. And I had to call out to my stepdad to come pick me up, which he was going to be there till the end of the day. I said, what are you going to do? She said, I'm waiting to meet a minister of the gospel. And I was like, I didn't even know what that meant. I was like, okay. So we go out to the parking lot. We're sitting in the parking lot. She's rummaging around. I'm rummaging around. I'm looking in my wallet to see how much money I have. And I look up and she's gone. Everything's gone. I walked around where we ate breakfast, walked around since this lady's gone. And I was scratching my head the rest of the day. And at that point, that's when the journey began. And my stepdad ended up picking me up. We went back to the house. And when I saw the house, it looked like a murder scene, man. There was blood all over the place. Way worse than I pictured it in my mind. So, and then the journey got real crazy at that point. So to your point, some of us have a, when's the pin in the grenade moment, and I'm still getting there, right? I'm one of those guys.
Like today, currently, or in the story?
In the story. I mean, I look back and I was like, how many times do you have to, the power of addiction and the denial, and there's a spiritual element to it. As you know, when you look back in your addiction, there's a spiritual element to it that's pretty powerful. Yeah. And it keeps you captive and oppressed and suppressed in that spin cycle that you're in, right?
Until somebody outside of you steps in, finally says, hey, are you done yet? Like, are you done? And to your point, I don't know that I had a lot of grenades, dude. You know what I mean? A couple Molotov cocktails, there was.
Yeah.
And, someone's like, well, how many years do you have? Like, depends. I haven't done heroin in 17 years. I haven't done cocaine in 10. Stopped smoking weed almost 4 years ago, drinking almost 4 years ago. Like, it was just a slowly, no Adderall in 8 years. Like, it was like, and I always got frustrated because I remember saying, what an old head in AA was like, how long have you been sober? I was like, well, it depends, like pornography and sex addiction was a thing for me. And so like that, for me, looking at porn is a relapse, 100%. So, there's a different time on there. It's been 2.5 years since I looked at porn. So like, I got really frustrated because a guy asked me, I'm an old biker, AA guy, how long you been sober? And I was like, for what? And he's like, don't play that game with me. And I was like, what the fuck you mean? Like, I'm trying my hardest here. Like,
yeah.
And it was just a gradual, and I meet people that just get it. People that, there was another guy that was sitting across from me a couple months back, his roommate. And his story's so heavy because it was like, he just kept going and going and going, and he could try. Some of us are just a little hard-headed, dude. And it felt like just the door was just a millimeter at a time, cranking open. So I get that, man. I get that. So go back to your story. You're back with your stepdad, and was it Bodfish?
Yeah, Bodfish, California has a population of about 1,100.
Okay.
So he's like, thanks, but no thanks.
Oh, like
Yeah, he's like, okay, get your stuff, but
is he seeing the house with you for the first time when y'all walk in and see it? Like,
oh yeah.
So like he hadn't been here yet.
He's like, what the? Yeah, what happened here, man?
Excuse my French.
He didn't realize, how bad this.
I had no idea.
I was in a bad place. So I called my brother JR and I said, hey man, I'm thinking to myself, since I have all these problems and all these baggage, I got all this baggage, might as well bring it to my brother, right? So call him up and he said, well, let me talk to my wife about it. And
I'm listening. Go ahead.
yeah, and so he called me back the next day and he goes, all right, I talked to Vicky and we'll let you live here. And so I moved.
This is immediately after.
Yeah, so I moved in with them and started plugging in and
Plugging in what?
plugging into meetings.
AA?
Yeah, starting to go to AA meetings and trying to do the recovery thing.
Church?
Little bit. And I'm
Okay.
just kind of sniffing it out a little bit and end up landing a job with a it's a power mobility company out of Texas. It was called the Scooter Store. And
Oh, yeah, dude.
remember those? Yeah, they were like a big deal for a while. So I ended up going to training down there. And
Sober.
yeah,
Stone cold.
I was sober. Everything was going fine. And I got this great idea since I'm in the medical industry. I was down there. I said, my back's not feeling too good right now, is it, Rock? And no, and you could go to the pharmacy right now because you're an employee and get a script.
Yeah.
So got some Vicodin, started taking those. I was out making sales calls, living with my brother, eventually moved out and got a little renovated garage studio apartment on English Street, which is about 2 blocks from the ocean in Monterey.
And somebody else is living there, and you're their garage.
Yes. So they're in the main house. And I am doing opioids again, and I am working a job, calling on doctors, nurses, NPs, anybody that'll listen to me in the medical establishment. But you got to get to the doctor ultimately, and there's a lot of women that get you there. And I was doing okay, but the addiction was taking over again quickly.
So I'm sure this is for sales calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is like, I asked you the date, what decade, because realistically, late 90s, early 2000s, it's like the opioid epidemic, right? They can't write prescriptions fast enough, right? I mean, that was the reality of it then. So it's not like it was hard to get.
No, it was everywhere. Now we're into 05, like 07.
Yeah.
08, and the addiction just started taking over, and then I lost the job.
Yeah.
And I was just absolutely running out of options. And I'd moved out of my brother's place. I'd been a good steward when I was with him. But it got to the point where I ended up going to a community hospital on Monterey Peninsula, and the doctor up there, he's like, hey, man, I'm going to write you one more script for Valium, get you off the alcohol. I went up there and I was half in the bag. And so they had to call a taxi to take me back to the
Half in the bag. You're almost dead.
I was in half in the bag, intoxicated, and here we go again. And so I got back to this place, and I remember in the afternoon, it was probably 2-3 in the afternoon, and I just got to the end of myself. And this is the moment that I was talking to your producer about, and I just was done. And I remember walking into this dungeness little studio and hit my knees, and I said, no background, no foundation of God or any of that.
I don't know who you're talking to, but you're looking for somebody.
Absolutely. Yeah. God, if you've heard this a million, how many times have you heard this? God, I can't, and I really said this, man, with a broken and contrite heart, I can't do this anymore. If you are who you say you are, I need your help. Please help me. I can't do it.
It's the most powerful prayer.
Oh man, and I know looking back, that was the moment, and that was the pin in the grenade moment where something shifted. And I went to an AA meeting in downtown Monterey about an hour after that. Ended up meeting Suzette Washington, and so she had looked for recovery places for me to go to. But the one thing I do want to mention is before I got to that point, and how I flew over this part, God only knows, but when I left my brother's and I was on the downhill slide heading into that moment, 3 weeks in a row, I got 3 DUIs, got in a bar fight, and I got in a fight in a parking lot at a liquor store. 3 DUIs in 3 weeks. And yeah.
So right now you've got 3 DUIs, bar fight, you're in and out of jail, and you get on your knees and you say, please help. You go to an AA meeting an hour later, and there's shit. So next week we're going to have the next episode come out. And sorry to leave you on a cliffhanger, but I think after reading this book, which you can go find on Amazon, it's an incredible book. It's if you want to race to it, you probably get it in the next 24 hours and get the rest of the story before you have to wait here. Easy book, short book to read. But if you don't want to do that, you can obviously listen to next week's. Just real quick before we let you go, this book, all the proceeds of this book goes back into doing exactly what you're doing right now and pouring back into this ministry, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is, this every dollar it goes, he carries a box of books around. You're doing things like this constantly. You're not very present on social media, so go find him, but you're available as a human being, right? Through the book.
Absolutely. My email address is in the book, so you can email me. I'll respond to anybody that emails me. So,
and he is about that life when he says that. Please share this. Please like. Please subscribe. There's something in this story today that's going to touch somebody's heart. They're in that motel room. They've got that gun close by. There's a razor. They've gone through 2 handles. They've had 3 DUIs. Something that was said today is going to resonate with someone. And your help, all we ask you to do is like, subscribe, share this, get his story out so we can just one person gets it. Like I said, it's worth it. So thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you next week. And thank you.
thank you.